Hey friends, how's it going? In this video, I'm going to recap from 2022 titled Necro. Before we get to the storyline, I'd like to wish everyone a happy and great day. Without further ado, let's get straight to the storyline. She spent her life among the dead until one corpse changed everything. Let's see how. In the quiet town of Import, Maine, the year is 1998. A horrifying scene unfolds inside a seemingly normal family home. The floors are smeared with blood. The aftermath of a brutal struggle, a lifeless woman lies cold and still. Beside her, a small girl named Sam silently processes the unthinkable. In a disturbing, heartbreaking moment, she crawls to her mother's body and begins to breastfeed. Fast forward to 2022, and Sam is no longer a little girl. She's now an adult, working as a mortician in Whittier, California. Her life revolves around death, embalming, preparing bodies for final rites, helping grieving families say goodbye. Despite the darkness of her job, Sam brings warmth and care to it. After a funeral service, her boss, Mr. Henderson, the funeral director, stops her outside to praise her dedication. He recognizes her deep compassion and professionalism and gives her a well-earned raise. She heads home excited to share the news with her boyfriend Jesse, a district attorney. The couple plans to celebrate that night. Fueled by the moment's happiness, Sam tries to initiate intimacy before Jesse heads out for court, but Jesse gently declines. He smiles and tells her despite all the scrubbing, the faint smell of formaldehyde still lingers. Later that night, Sam vents to her close friends over glasses of wine. They wonder if Jesse's rejection is about more than just a scent. Sam opens about her doubts. Maybe Jesse doesn't truly understand her love for her work. She suspects he's uncomfortable with her connection to death, or maybe even disgusted by it. Her friends remind her that relationships require compromise. But when asked whether she'd ever give up her job for Jesse, Sam hesitates. She explains that being a mortician isn't just a job, it's a calling. She feels a profound connection to the deceased, and a deep responsibility to help families through their grief. At work the next day, something unusual happens. While Sam prepares a man's body for service, a new employee, Charlie, the gravedigger and removal technician, bursts into the room with another corpse. As he handles the body, Sam notices Charlie whispering something into the body bag before quietly stepping out. Her curiosity piqued. Sam later asks Charlie about it. He explains sincerely that he was thanking the deceased for allowing him to assist in their final journey. For Charlie, his job is sacred, and everybody deserves gratitude and reverence. Sam is struck by his perspective. That evening, she takes extra time to prepare herself for Jesse. When they finally become intimate, something unexpected happens. Sam's thoughts flash to Charlie. Days passed. Sam and Charlie began talking more. They dive into philosophical conversations about death, the afterlife, and how they each want to be treated when their time comes. They bond over cultural funeral traditions and personal beliefs. Charlie even encourages Sam to embrace her true nature, not suppress her passions, just to keep Jesse comfortable. In one particularly emotional moment, Charlie shares his own devastating past. He lost his entire family in a crash caused by a drunk driver. Moved by his vulnerability, Sam feels compelled to finally open about her own trauma, the tragic death of her mother, something she's never shared. But just as she's about to speak, her phone rings. It's Jesse. His parents have just arrived at their house. Sam rushed home, eager to speak with Jesse's parents, and more importantly, to find a quiet moment with Charlie. A moment to finally open and share the truth about her past. But as she stepped inside the house, she was met with silence. The lights were off. Every step she took echoed through the stillness. The crunch of something under her shoes, pulling her back into a memory she'd tried hard to bury. Shards of glass scattered across the floor, eerily like that horrific night. The night her home was broken into, and her mother was taken from her forever. Overwhelmed by the sudden flood of grief and fear, Sam crumbled to the ground, her body shaking as tears poured down her face. Just then, Jesse appeared and rushed to her side, wrapping her in his arms. His warmth, for a moment, seemed to soothe the pain. But that fragile peace was shattered instantly. The lights flickered on, and the room erupted in cheers. Friends and family emerged from hiding, revealing a romantic surprise. Jesse's grand proposal. In the dim lighting, Sam now realized the glass she'd stepped on was pieces of her favorite cereal, arranged with rose petals in the shape of a heart. But what Jesse had intended as a sweet, nostalgic gesture landed like a cruel twist of fate. The cereal, a cherished memory of her mother, now scattered like remnants of that nightmarish crime scene. To Sam, the scene didn't say, "I love you." It screamed trauma. Struggling to keep her composure, she gently turned down the proposal. Her voice quivered as she explained how that cereal wasn't just food. It was the last tangible connection to her mother. Fighting back tears, Sam told Jesse he deserved someone who could embrace love fully, someone who wasn't haunted by the past. And with that, she walked away, leaving behind a room filled with celebration that had quickly turned to confusion and heartbreak. The following morning carried a heavier weight than usual. At the morgue, Sam prepared herself for another grim task. She approached the next body on the list. The tag reads JN. With practiced detachment, she lifted the cover and froze. It was Charlie. His face, once full of life and empathy, now lay still, pale and cold. Tears welled in her eyes as she leaned in, whispering his name through the sobs. Charlie had been her safe space, the only person who truly saw her, scars and all. Desperate for comfort, she pressed a kiss to his forehead. Then, unable to stop herself, she laid her body over his, searching for warmth in a place where no one remained. And then he moved. A hand, cold and lifeless, suddenly gripped her leg. Sam shrieked, pulling herself back in terror. But when she turned to look again, the slab was empty. No Charlie, only the chilling scent of death lingered. She stumbled into the corridor, heart racing, stomach twisting. As she leaned against the wall, gasping, a familiar voice called her name. She looked up. Charlie stood before her, alive. Sam confronted Charlie, her voice shaking with a storm of disbelief and fury. He tried to explain, justifying his bizarre actions as a desperate attempt to wake her from her emotional void. He told her how he had taken a pill to slow his breath and used a prosthetic autopsy incision. All part of a disturbing plan. A plan to make her feel something again. But Sam wasn't buying it. She accused him of crossing a line, manipulating her into a moment of intimacy built on deception. Charlie, overwhelmed with guilt, insisted he only wanted to help her heal, to pull her out of her darkness. What followed was a heart-wrenching confrontation, a volley of pain, accusations, and shattered trust. In the end, Sam turned away, devastated. "We're nothing alike," she whispered, leaving Charlie alone in the cold, echoing corridors of the morgue. 2 months have passed. Sam now worked at a makeup counter, a world away from the silence of the morgue. The bright lights and sterile smiles offered little comfort. Memories of Charlie haunted her, slipping into her mind like shadows she couldn't shake. On her wedding day, her friend Danny took notice. Sam seemed distant, different, like someone still carrying invisible wounds. When asked if she was okay, Sam simply smiled and muttered, "I just want a boring, normal life." The ceremony was beautiful, filled with heartfelt vows, laughter, and the promise of a fresh start. Sam pledged her heart to Jesse, calling him her anchor in a world of chaos. Jesse, in return, presented a surprise, a video montage of their journey together. Sweet, loving, nostalgic, until something horrifying appeared. A grainy, disturbing clip interrupted the montage. Footage of Sam, in what looked like an intimate act with a corpse. Gasps filled the room, whispers spread like wildfire. Jesse, stunned and devastated, turned to Sam, demanding answers. His voice shook with betrayal and rage as he screamed, trying to make sense of what he'd just seen. Sam, reeling from the shock, attempted to brush it off, claiming Charlie was just a delusional ex-colleague. But Jesse, overwhelmed, couldn't ignore what was now burned into his memory. Then the church doors flung open. Charlie stood there, furious, broken, desperate. His voice rang through the sanctuary as he accused Jesse of killing everything beautiful in Sam. Sam's fury boiled over. She turned to Charlie, her voice trembling with both pain and disgust. "Did you film us?" she screamed. Charlie, shaken, confessed. He had recorded the act, not to humiliate her, but to force her to confront her emotions. "I did it out of love," he claimed. "To wake you up," but Sam couldn't see love in any of it. Just betrayal. With tears in her eyes and rage in her step, she pushed past him, the weight of her wedding dress trailing behind her like the ghost of a life that could never be. In the aftermath, Sam tried to move on. She applied for a maid's job and impressed the interviewer until another employee showed something on her phone. The interviewer's face changed with regret. He informed her they couldn't hire someone flagged as a sex offender, especially not in home services. Sam, crushed and humiliated, walked out under the weight of a reputation she couldn't escape. Even a coffee shop wasn't safe. A familiar face from the past refused to acknowledge her. Whispers followed. Insults. The word zombie hissed behind her back. Her face had gone viral. Not as a woman, but as a meme. Alone and spiraling, Sam bought a gun. Days later, sitting in her car, she spotted a hearse. Charlie's. Something inside her snapped. She followed it, cornered him, and pulled the gun. She demanded answers. Charlie, calm in the face of danger, finally confessed everything. He'd faked his death, not to hurt her, but to keep their connection alive. He spoke of her mother, how Sam had once tenderly cared for her mother's lifeless body for days, mistaking it for something alive. That was the last time she had felt comfort, he said. Sam broke down. That memory, it was true. Caring for her mother had been the last moment she felt secure. Charlie's twisted stunt, for all its pain, had awakened something in her, but she couldn't forgive him. She told him he should have left her in her numbness. Then, in a moment, charged with despair and contradiction, she pointed the gun at her own head. Charlie stepped in, begging her not to, promising they could still find a way to be happy together. Sam seemed to soften, but then she turned the gun on him, one shot to the stomach. As Charlie collapsed into the grave he dug, symbolic and all too real, Sam stood over him. Together, in that strange, surreal moment, they shared one last twisted, intimate connection. And then she buried him. With every shovel of dirt, she buried the pain, the obsession, the past, leaving behind the grave, and a story no one would ever truly understand. And with that, friends, this story comes to an end. Tell us in the comments how you like the explanation. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.